Welcome to the Unlimited Fitness General Warm-Up examples. So yeah, these are just examples, so we move through them fairly quickly. Complete 5 to 10 minutes of cardio to get your heart rate up. Walk to, or jog to the studio, jump on the bike or the rower like Spider-Man there. Next, complete some pull and push movements. Here we're doing a TRX row. It's a good one to start with, activating the core at the same time. Then move into a push-up with rotation, activating the core as you come back down. So you twist around the spine, great for the back, and then slowly come back down to the ground, so your core has to stabilize the unevenness of 3 contact points in the ground. 2 feet, 1 arm, slowly rotate around, activating the core. Swing the arms around a few times, loosen off the shoulders with some arm swings, 1 arm above, 1 arm below, and alternate. Loosen off the shoulders as much as possible. Move into some windmills on the floor, using the foam roller as a contact point for your knee. 180 degrees and back down to the other hand. Keep your fingertips in touch with the ground at all times if possible. It's really good for the shoulder to try and open that up and keep it back and flat against your rib cage. Release the front side of your body. You can do a chest stretch. We run through a few examples here. TRX stretch with the elbows bent. Then relieve the tension and straighten the arms. Same thing, open up the front side of the body. Hold each one for about 15 seconds. Then you can move over to the wall and do 1 arm at a time. It's nice and stable. This is a good one for people with a few shoulder complications, because obviously the wall doesn't move, unlike the TRX. So you can really just focus on opening up the shoulder. And if that's all safe and all good to go, you can do this one, hold onto a bar, 1 hand above and 1 hand below. So the hand that's underneath is the one that's being twisted around. So you open up the shoulder as much as possible. I do a little bit of a pulse here to make sure that I get the stretch in the shoulder and rotate around the spine. You just want to feel the body opening up as you twist. And moving on to some neck stretches, just slowly point 1 arm down to the ground and tilt your head to one side, just using your fingertips to apply a little bit of pressure. You don't need too much. Next here, I just sort of work through the neck muscles that I'm feeling that are tight. Relieve the pressure, roll the shoulders, find a tight bit, couldn't quite get it there, and angle, yep, stretch, and loosen up the shoulders. So again, I'm just giving these examples quickly, but you need to do each one for at least 10 seconds. Try and go for 15 if you have time. A shoulder retraction exercise, because we've loosened off the front of the shoulders, you want to activate the back side, really good for posture. The shoulders go back, open up the band, squeeze the shoulder blades together, always standing up tall. Your posture is as tall as possible, your chin's tucked in, so your head's right between your shoulders, right in the middle. So shoulders back, open up, squeeze, maintain the shoulder position, stability, and bring the arms back to the front. Another shoulder stabilization exercise. 5 to 6 inches from the wall with your feet, and keep your bum, shoulders and head, elbows and hands all in contact with the wall at all times. Sliding up, hold for 5 seconds, back down to 90 degrees in the elbow. Repeat that about 3 times. Moving on to the lower body now, we do a lunge with a rotation across the front leg. So you're really twisting across the hip angle there. Your hips and shoulders are going in opposite directions pretty much. You can see I also add a little bit of a pulse here as well, just to make sure I get the spine nice and warm and my torso's warmed up. Squats, keeping the weight through the heel, arches nice and high, knees point outwards, just make sure your knees don't whip in here, especially on the transition when you go to push up. I'm also increasing the intensity of the warm-up now to get the blood flow and the heart rate up, which is what you want to do before you start your workout. So we've gone through a few circulation exercises there, getting some blood flow to the muscle with some working exercises. Now try and loosen off the hips. Kicking forwards and backwards, getting as much range as possible, and then side to side. The key there is to get the range, so you get up onto your toe, swing the leg right up to the side and right across the body. Okay, stretching out the front of the hip. It's a very common one. People get very tight in the hip flexors from sitting down so much. We're very bunched up in the front of our hip. So you can see here I'm just sort of working through the muscle depending on what I'm feeling. So you may not want to bounce as much. You need to be quite warm if you're going to do some dynamic stretching, but it's a great way to warm up. So that's what we're trying to get across here, that you feel the stretch. You can sort of push forward, tuck the tummy in, keep the hips tilted up towards the ribs at the front, and then just sort of reach into it. Okay, then we move on to some glute activation. Nice and easy one on the ground. This is a basic glute bridge, keeping the weight through the heel, raising the hips up, and you want to hold for about 5 seconds at the top. And then I work on a little bit of a pelvic anterior and posterior pelvic tilt. So you can see I'll roll the spine down to the ground, and I breathe out and rock the hips back up towards the ribs and go into a glute bridge at the top. So you can hold the glute bridge for 10 seconds and roll the spine up off the ground, just peeling it up. Glute bridge for 10, breath in, breath out, and then roll the spine back down to the ground. It was a little bit rushed, but you want to take that one nice and slow in your real life warm-ups. Again, some more activation of the posterior chain, so kettlebell swings. Now, the swing doesn't really come from the kettlebell so much. You want to try and think of swinging the hips more than anything. So pretend your hips are, or just focus on the hips really. It's not about bending the knees as much as it is as hinging through the hips. So the hips go back, snap them forward. The snap's very important. It gets that neural activation into the posterior chain. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good workout. For any further information, go to unlimitedfitness.com.au.